Welcome to a V-BT04 rulings video. Bushiroad Japan has issued rulings for the V-Series' 4th mainline booster set because reading is hard, while complaining about Shadow Paladin not having guard restrict abilities. But first, here are some general rules for deleters for all you newbies. Can I use the ability of a deleted Vanguard that works when another unit rides or strides over it? No, you cannot. A deleted Vanguard has all of its power and abilities erased. The only thing they have are their grade, card name, clan, and race. Any text prior to riding or striding would not have existed. Can I look at my opponent's face down cards in the bind zone? No, you cannot. Face down cards in the bind zone are not public knowledge due to other abilities such as binding cards from hand. With that out of the way, let's get started. Would Gust Blaster Dragon get an extra crit when you retire your rear guard by calling another unit over it? Yes, it will. Will Gust Blaster Dragon still gain 10k power if opponent doesn't have any rear guard to retire when using this ability? Yes, it will. You do as much of the skill as possible. How many extra crit does Gust Blaster Dragon get when you retire 2 or more of your rear guards at the same time? It gets the same amount as the number of rear guards retired. Would Zangeki get 5k power during opponent's turn if left arrestor is on your front row rear guard? Yes, it will. This continuous ability doesn't state that it only works during your turn. Can I guard with non-grade 0 units when my opponent's rear guard attacks while they have Zangeki on Vanguard? No, you cannot. Zangeki's ability applies to all of your units attacking. Can I guard with a protect gift marker while my opponent has Zangeki on Vanguard? No, you cannot. Protect gift markers have a grade of protect and are not grade 0 cards. Would Gradle's ability also stop the movement of rear guards due to other abilities? Yes, it does. Gradle's ability takes precedence over any ability that moves rear guards to other rear guard circles. Can I intercept with my rear guard while my opponent has Gradle on Vanguard? Yes, you may. Gradle only prevents moving rear guards to other rear guard circles. It does not prevent them from moving to the Guardian circle. Would Gradle gain the ability to delete the opponent's Vanguard and get an extra crit if you rode it over a grade 3 but didn't bind an opponent's rear guard face down? Yes, it will. You do as much of the skill as possible. Can I use Dantarian's ability to call Guardians from the soul even if my opponent is using an ability that prevents me from calling Guardians from hand? Yes, you may. It is treated as calling a card from soul and not from the hand. Can I use my Guardian's ability that works when it was placed in the Guardian circle, even if it was placed from soul by Dantarian's ability? Yes, you may. It is treated as being placed in the Guardian circle. How many times does Dantarian get its soul charge ability when 2 or more of the opponent's rear guards were retired at the same time? As many times as the number of rear guards retired. Can I use Dantarian's soul charge ability after my opponent retires an intercepted rear guard? No, you cannot. A unit that moves to the Guardian circle by intercepting are no longer treated as rear guards. How many times does Dantarian get to give up to 3 rear guards 5k power when 2 or more grade 2 or greater units were soul charged at the same time? As many times as the number of grade 2 or greater cards that were soul charged. Can I use Schwarzschild Dragon's restand ability if I have no rear guard to soul charge with? Yes, you can. A cost that specifies all can also be valued as virtually 0. Can I choose not to use Schwarzschild Dragon's ability when riding it over a grade 3 unit? No, you cannot. The ability is mandatory because the text does not have the Yume clause and it has no cost. Can I use Shir Yuki's ability if there are less than 2 units in the opponent's front row? Yes, you can. You do as much of the skill as possible. What happens if I use Shir Yuki's ability to decrease 10k power from a unit with only 5k power? That unit's power will become negative 5k. Would Schwarzschild Dragon's ability also prevents calling a card to the Guardian circle that has the same name as the card in the opponent's bind zone? Yes, it will. Would Schwarzschild Dragon's ability still prevent opponent from calling cards that has the same name if all cards in opponent's bind zone are already face up when using this ability? Yes, it will. You do as much of the skill as possible. Can I still retire an opponent's rear guard with Dark Metal Dragon's ability even if I did not call a unit with 9k power from my deck? Yes, you can. You do as much of the skill as possible. Can I still draw a card with full bounce ability if I call it to rear guard when I wrote Apocalypse Bat over it? Yes you can. Both cards' abilities will be placed on standby and you choose which ones to resolve in any order. Can I use Master of Fifth Element's ability if I have no cards in hand to discard? Yes you can. A cost that specifies all can also be valued as virtually zero. What happens to Gravity Collapse Dragon's ability if it leaves its rear guard circle before it could resolve its ability? You may still look at the top 5 of your deck for a Cyber Dragon unit, but it cannot be called because Gravity Collapse Dragon is no longer on rear guard to be called over. It is returned back to the deck and shuffled. Can I place Dark Soul Conductor into the soul with Demon Eater's ability if I use Dark Soul Conductor's ability? No you cannot. Dark Soul Conductor would return to the bottom of the deck instead of being retired. Demon Eater's ability conditions will not be met. Can I choose not to countercharge and soul charge if my opponent uses Witch of Fertility Nenes? Yes you may. Both players can decide not to use Nenes's ability after the cost was paid. However, if the player chooses to use the ability, they must do both. They cannot skip one of the two actions. Can Endive Beast Tamer's ability call the 2 units to the same rear guard circle? No you cannot. Calling multiple units must be placed in different rear guard circles. Can I use Nephrite Beast Tamer's ability if she was called to rear guard from soul along with another unit at the same time? Yes you may. The other unit being called alongside her will count towards her ability's requirement. And that concludes this V-BT04 rulings video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments who the fuck didn't do as much of the skill as possible.